welcome to my stream. My name is Sel, and tonight we're streaming Paranormasight. To me it kind of sounds like Parasite, but... Alright. Epic music here in the menu screen. Oh, by the way, I have all my VODs that are worthwhile uploaded on to YouTube, so you can go check that out. I have a link to my YouTube in the panels on my page here, so you can go check that out. Yeah. It's really fun making the thumbnails as well as the descriptions. I started getting into those a little bit. The first ones are really boring, but the most recent ones were kind of fun to do, so. But yeah, okay. I need to work on making a starting soon screen. It's kind of like in the back of my mind on the list of things to do. Okay, now the song's over. I guess it's a good time. Hey Suyoku, welcome, welcome. How are you today? Okay, we'll start game. Which I guess what we want to do, yeah, okay. So we redo this one. And then instead of going here, we go here. There's no other branching paths here, so I guess we have to do this, pretty obvious. A starting or ending soon screen, yeah. Yeah, I wanted it to be good, and I tried to like create an animated font myself, and it was in Blender, and it was really hard, so yeah. Hey Turkey. Alright, well thank you for the follow on Twitter and for the meme. I'll catch it after stream. Always appreciate good memes. Turkey sends a lot of them. Yeah, so yeah, starting soon screen at least, and probably an ending screen. When I figure out what to do for them, I'll kind of make something at some point. It's like it's coming up on my agenda. Now that I have vlogs on YouTube, next thing to do is kind of move on to that. And a couple other things that I kind of have planned for the stream as well. But, okay, I guess we're gonna restart this one and have a different ending? To grow as he learns more, okay. Can barely afford a ramen with your cell bucks. Nah, that's ramen's so cheap though. You can certainly afford ramen. Maybe just not the fancy kind. Okay, so we're picking up from the beginning? Okay. I'm not gonna reread everything, oops. Especially not when I click on it twice. Like, do I have to click on the things, or can I just, like, not do that? Okay, so we have surroundings, playground, probably kids during the day, telephone booth for emergencies. Okay. Girl. Alright. We'll try to recall. Okay, and then we'll talk to her. The first time playing this. Well, this route, yes. Whatever route we're gonna do. I guess we'll read through the dialogue. It kind of sounded like you were saying that only people with spirit sense can see you. Of course that was a joke, duh. You don't really think I'm some kind of evil spirit, do you? But yeah. I meant what I said about your spirit sense being strong. I bet you could down a whole gimlet in one gulp, seriously. That's the real reason I asked you to help me with this 7 Mysteries of Honjo business. Okay, let me clarify something. Are you saying you can actually see paranormal stuff? Yeah, first time playing anything. I've never seen a video game before. Sure, I could handle a solid Moscow Mule. Why are you measuring this in terms of cocktails? Not a believer, huh? Well, that's no matter. But you have to have seen some weird stuff over the years, right? Weird stuff? Yeah, like things you could see but could never understand. You can't be serious. Okay. the clapper. Alright. Did we talk about all of it? I've seen ghost photos in magazines before, but are you telling me they really exist? You bet they do. But you can only recognize them if you really believe in them, so be careful. So even with my skill, I won't be able to see them if I doubt that they exist. That's right. The spirit world is all about the mind and the soul. You won't be able to see a thing unless you're properly in tune. But sometimes people get caught up in the moment thinking they might see something, and then they really do because they believe they would. Is that how it works? Yep, just like drinking. You'll never know how much booze you can handle unless you're ready to down some shots. I'm still not sure I get the drinking thing. You know, I realized how strange it was as the words left my mouth. Sheesh. Okay. Why your mom always kissed the mailman? Oh, do we talk about it again? And if you can believe that, there might be hope for you yet. You can't be serious. Yeah, okay. Totally unrelated, but do you actually drink real alcohol, I mean? Whoa, talk about whiplash. I didn't expect you to start making small talk. Well, our conversation was getting a bit dark. I figured a change of topic might lighten things up. Oh, I see. If you really want to know, I like to think I can handle a few drinks. But to tell you the truth, I've never actually had a Moscow Mule. Really now? Just thought it sounded cool. I would like to try it though. Why don't we go for a drink sometime then? Oh, are you asking me out? No, you're just being a good Samaritan, right? No, that's not what I meant. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'd be up for that. But only if we find one of the 7 mysteries. Alright, then let's get to work. Okay. Crazy talk like this is gonna get you dead. Yeah, I still don't get the drinking thing. And I don't really want to bring her back, to be honest, but, yeah, she's a little too bubbly up at the brain regions. Okay, about the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. I just remembered, I actually did some research on the 7 Mysteries of Honjo at the library. You did? What did you find? Well, I discovered a few interesting things. Oh, tell me everything. 7 mysteries? Although they're called the 7 mysteries, the literature lists 9 of them. Oh, I'm surprised you picked up on that. Nice researching. Some people think there could be up to 15. That's the thing about these old folk tales. Stuff gets added to them over the years. That's more extra stories than main ones. Yeah, but the 7 mysteries rolls off the tongue way better than 9 or 15, if you say so. But it makes sense, don't you think? It's more likely to be passed on if it's easy to remember. Huh, that's a good point. She's a youth. Can't get alcohol off the brain. Okay. Are these really ghost stories? So I read some of the stories, and none of them were, well, scary. I thought these were supposed to be ghost stories. That's true. They're more like a collection of superstitions, really. But there are some pretty disturbing ones in the mix. Yeah, like the one that's supposed to take place here. The Whispering Canal. Did you just start with the scariest one, Yoko? People who fished in this canal would hear a voice call out saying, "Leave it." They had to abandon their catch where the canal would take it. Right. Is that what you're expecting to find here in this park? Not quite. We're talking about a folktale from hundreds of years ago. After centuries of the telephone game, who knows if it's anything like the original story? So basically, you think the true story of the Whispering Canal might be completely different from what we know? Exactly. I'm sure it is. I mean, weren't you curious? About what? People from around here have that expression left at the canal, right? Meaning to abandon someone. This story is where it comes from, except the story being told today is about fish. There's nothing in it about leaving people behind. Now that you mention it, that's true. So you're saying the original story maybe did involve someone being abandoned? That's what I'm trying to find out. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Million Mysteries does roll off the tongue really well. But maybe... I don't know. I would be like, oh, that's too big of a number for people to like it. But, like, the 1001 Nights, that, like, it was really successful, so... Oh, by the way, were we talking about the Rite of Resurrection? Oh, your memory is as strong as your tolerance. I'm gonna start calling you Martini Man Shogo. Really, whoops. Whatever. You know, so you know about it, right? Huh? The Rite of Resurrection? A magazine ran a feature on it recently that got practically everyone talking about it. Really? Maybe that's where I heard about it. Still, I don't know. It seems a little too far-fetched to be true. So, the Rite of Resurrection. It's a forbidden art of bringing the dead back to life, concocted by a famous onmyoji from an ancient age. Rumor has it, an old manuscript containing actual concrete details about the rite was recently discovered. Yeah, we have a bunch of mysteries. We don't know how many, there's just a bunch. And we don't know what they are. That's why they're mysteries, so it's all very mysterious. I mean, because they're not going to be mysteries if you do all the detective work and solve them, right? This rumor comes from a presentation given by a local historian, Hideki Ariishi, at an academic conference. You sure know a lot about this stuff. That's right, I am secretly a huge occult buff. I kinda got that. Oh. Don't worry, I'm looking for a bubbly occult girl, so you're perfect. But if a researcher spoke about it at an academic conference, it must have some basis in fact. Exactly. That's why I believe the Rite of Resurrection is real. Now I'm starting to believe it too. Good. The pursuit of the unknown starts with belief. I got that from Professor Ariishi himself. Wait, hold on. I've got another question. You mentioned the Rite of Resurrection. Are you looking for that too? Does it have something to do with the 7 Mysteries of Honjo? Oh, you're sharp. I could cut my finger on you. To tell the truth, it's actually the other way around. What do you mean? Well, I started off searching for the Rite of Resurrection, but along the way I realized that I needed to investigate the 7 Mysteries of Honjo first. I see, so then... Why are you looking for the right? Ogopogo! If you're looking into a way to bring someone back from the dead, does that mean you've got someone you want to bring back? You know what? Forget it. It just came to mind, so I thought I'd ask. I didn't mean to pry, sorry. No, it's fine. I figured I'd need to tell you at some point. It's Ogopogo. Ogopogo? Yeah, I want to bring Ogopogo back to life. And there's no way you don't know who that is, because he's famous. He died in an accident about a month ago. Ogopogo died? Yes, stupid. That's why she wants to bring him back. She wouldn't need a Rite of Resurrection if he didn't die. Shogo. Not a lot going up there. Oh right, Ogopogo is my dog. I had him for 8 years. Ah, okay. Your dog. Gotcha. You spent a long time together. Losing him must have been really hard for you. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure if the Rite even works on dogs, but as soon as I found out about it, I knew I had to give it a try. I don't think I could forgive myself if I just let the opportunity pass by. Definitely. Now I understand why you feel so strongly about it. You know, with a name like that, you have to be famous. Yeah, I agree. I mean, who couldn't know Ogopogo? Thanks for telling me. I know this must be hard to talk about. But, you know what? All that led me to meeting you. So at least something good came out of it. Though, that doesn't mean I'll stop looking, obviously. Yoko. I'll do everything I can to help you. Yay, I'm so glad to hear that. Let's keep up the hard work then, yeah? Okay, what's that got to do with mysteries? Ogopogo has always been an ass. Yep. No. We're still learning about Ogopogo. So, about the connection between this rite and the 7 mysteries, putting together everything we've talked about. My guess is that the original stories behind the 7 mysteries, the true stories, are the key to finding the Rite of Resurrection. and that's why you're searching for them, for one of them. Do I have that right? Wow, 10 out of 10. You're proving to be quite the capable assistant. Wait, since when was I your assistant? Anyway, this is all just hearsay, but some say that what led to the 7 mysteries coming to be was the Rite of Resurrection itself. Huh? Don't the stories come from the Edo period? I thought the Rite of Resurrection was supposed to be way older than that. Right. It seems that an Onmyoji from the Edo period rediscovered the ancient art. That old manuscript I mentioned with all the details on how to use the rite, apparently it was written in the Edo period. Oh right, I never told you its name. The manuscript is called The Record of Fates. Whoa, what a name. And it speculates that the secret of the rite is hidden within the 7 mysteries of Honjo. So now the 7 mysteries are the hot new trend. Among who? You know, this whole thing's starting to sound pretty questionable. Everyone's Ogopogo died last night. Yeah, the name of the paper didn't really. She was like, oh wow, I forgot some important detail. It like, we played through a good portion of this game last night and it never came up again. Come on now, remember what I said about the pursuit of the unknown? It starts with belief, right? Whoa. What the hell? It feels like the air just changed. Wait. Okay, hold on. It's found on a Tuesday, yeah. At 4:39 p.m. Very important detail. Okay. So. We need to make it end up differently than it did before. Now I thought it was going to take us back to when she was digging stuff up over here. But it's not. Yoko, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Stay with me. No, this can't be. Okay. But there were a lot of 2s. Okay, so... Am I supposed to... Oh, okay, I can do something different. Huh, what? Is calling her name really going to help? I'm already yelling as hard as I can. Shouldn't I look for what's causing this? There's nothing there. Yoko, hang in there, Yoko. Look at me. You're going to be okay. It's alright, there's nothing there. Did she die anyway? Yoko. Okay, well we at least got the different thing, whatever happened. Awesome. Okay. Shogo cries Yoko's name in a desperate attempt to wake her as she lies unmoving on the ground. Will his pleas get through to her? Yeah, because she didn't seem like super dead, actually. I mean, I know she died, but... We didn't die. She still died. Apparently. Oh. She didn't. What was that bit about her lying on the ground? Huh? Oh good, you're awake. What? Are you okay? You were so rattled and confused, I thought you'd really lost it. Oh, is it because we didn't believe? The first, like, she said you had to believe, and the first time we turned around. Because we believed something was there. But we instead, this time we insisted that there's nothing there. Do you feel dizzy? Have a headache? Are your humors off balance? That's exactly what she told us. It's like Flippy flopped. She just power naps. She just has narcolepsy. That's actually how she found out about the Rite of Resurrection, is she was looking in the end section in the library, and she was looking for narcolepsy, but she ended up seeing necromancy, and that she grabbed a book, and it was the Record of Fates, and fate. 10 counts of crashing her car because of power naps. I'd buy it. Wait, what did you say? I think I've heard that before. You're the one who said it earlier. Oh, right. That must have been it. My humors were off balance. What, back there? You ended up like that because of your humors? Yeah, I've heard that at this age, your humors being even a little bit off can be fatal. What era is this again? The second she grabs a book, she goes bald and speaks Polish. What is a humor? Oh, you know, the four humors. Blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. I believe the humors. They're color coded for your convenience. Unbalanced humor is nothing to laugh at. That's true. I better not laugh at it, or else my humors will become unbalanced as well. They're related to alchemy. I'm glad you're back to normal now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause you so much trouble. But I really don't remember what happened. Sounds like what happened to me. Maybe this place is dangerous somehow. That's true. You know, I never really paused to think about it, but we didn't really, like, dig too deep into why he didn't remember anything. We just kind of went with this whole curse bearer stuff. Yeah, bubbly occult girl. Phlegm is off. I mean, they're all pretty gross, to be honest. Blood is probably like the least grossest of the humors, and that's saying something. Is ping pong back and forth with passing out and not remembering what happened. That's why she didn't explain why I passed out, because she didn't know, because she had just passed out before and lost her memory too, and so it's just back and forth. Hmm. What, are you backing out? Yeah, it just doesn't feel safe to me, and I'm worried about you. Let's call off today's investigation. Come on! I just started feeling back to normal too. Nope, not happening. Go home. I'll even pay for your cab fare, okay? Hmm. I ended up having to force a still protesting Yoko into a taxi. Even then, she still wouldn't stop complaining. So to placate her, I promised I'd search the park on my own for a little while longer. Hmm. Yeah, soon it'll be the next morning, and 9-year-olds will just watch us bounce back and forth, back and forth. Oh my gosh, it's already the next day. This is the farthest in the timeline we've gone yet. Worried about Yoko after her bizarre incident, Shogo decides to call off their investigation into the mysteries for the night. Despite her stubborn objections, he manages to persuade her by offering her to continue the search on his own. Date day. We got dressed nice. Wasn't last night the date? I thought that was the date. In further news. Oh, right. This is like the main version, because I was kind of confused, because the television man showed us when he turned on his TV. Oh, it says words. The man was taken to the hospital, but his death was confirmed shortly after. Right, forgot. I'm not clicking through these, so I need to be on top of things. Investigation is thrown away. Police suspect a connection to the other unexplained deaths found in the area at around the same time. Yeah, because on the TV, time for the real game to start. Hey, hippos. Yeah, so that's why I was like, the TV man showed us a TV. Oh, it's the one. The one with the reed. Credits. But yeah, the on the TV it said that Shogo had died, and then that didn't happen. I was a little confused. Oh, we got an achievement. Well done in your efforts thus far. This brings Shogo Okie's story to a close. Ah, but this is not the end, far from it. In fact, this is where the story finally begins. The route to the 3 protagonists have now been unlocked. Harue Shigima, a woman who lost her son when he was kidnapped and murdered. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, the chief inspector of the 1st Investigative Division, who is looking into the death of an officer in the line of duty. Credits, we beat the game. They're opening game credits. Well, mid-game credits. And Yako Sakazaki, a high school girl, who wants to bring her friend back from the dead. A girl who died in a suspicious suicide. Each of them is burdened with circumstances that leave them no choice but to seek the right of resurrection. Following these 3 storylines will reveal the full nature of all that is occurring. With that, please enjoy the continuation of this tale. Okay. Ooh, a little bow. That's nice. Yeah, we don't know, like, anything about the high schooler. Ooh, here's our lovely, our flamboyant Texan. I should probably give him a Texan accent, since that's what we're going with. Yeah, we should, this one's probably one we should go first, right? Or should we do these? Because they're earlier on the timeline. We gotta go with our guy. Yeah. Not dreams. Yeah, our kiss dude in the other one. Yeah, the first 2 are very we have people we know and love in those storylines. Any order is good. You'll have to play them all anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. You know. It's always a little different depending on the order. But we're gonna go with this one. And I have to change the voice I gave him because we're gonna make him Texan now. So I can't do Texan. I'm just gonna do try my best. Whatever, Southern or country or something. But that's the gist, you know. When the son of Haruo Shigema was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, Haruo has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night, while speaking to the detective at her home, something strange suddenly appears. I can't do Texan. I can just do, like, generic country. It's probably more Appalachian than anything. Kill them. Kill them. I don't know whose voice. The flame bearers. Kill them all. You have acquired the power of the curse stone, the haunting clappers. You can use it to kill those with fire or a fire-starting device on their person. Press the use curse button to set your target alight. Oh, I didn't realize she was the clappers person. I thought she was the tree. But it makes sense because the fire starter. I thought maybe the whole thing with the tree was that the tree had actually caught fire before, since we didn't know the tree's legend. Okay. Right, this was the haunting clappers. Okay. Curse power. Kills by burning one who is in possession of fire or a fire-starting device. Resentful memory. Red, red, red. Everything has dyed crimson. My home is burning to the ground. It's hot. So, so hot. I must call for help, but I cannot speak. My throat must be burned up from the smoke. No, I think I'm already on fire. That's right. I'll just use the clappers. Clack, clack. Is anybody there? Clack, clack. Why is no one coming? I'm going to burn to death. How did it come to this? Oh, right. Her. It must be the work of that vixen who appeared suddenly and enchanted my lord. That witch. Those hauntingly cold eyes had my lord dancing in the palm of her hand. Perhaps I was also taken in by her. How many innocent people did I lure in under orders? This must be karma. The sound of a heavy bell. It feels like my head will split open. Ah, right, the evening bell. That must be why nobody can hear the sound of my clappers. I've got to do it louder. Clack, clack. Interesting. That's so different than the actual clappers legend. This is like the cute little Disney version of the haunting clappers. This is like the Grimm's fairy tale version. Yeah, apparently she's the clapper. I had no idea. I thought she was the tree. And I mean, that made sense. I was like, trees burn, sure. This is cute. Not this one. This one. This one is cute. Can't you see how cute he is? Oh, my head is in the way. There we go. Oh, I can see better. Okay. See, this was just like he went clack, clack, and then there was another person out there going clack, clack, and it was so mysterious. 10 pages of how he led a revolution to revenge his murdered son. Yeah. Sneezing stuffed rabbit. Yeah. It's basically it. It's like a kind of like he heard next to clickety clack, and it was so cute and quirky. But then turns out he was actually on fire. And what was this bit here? So how did it come to this? The vixen enchanted his lord. The haunted cold eyes had him dancing in her palm. He was also taken in. How many people did I lure in under orders? This must be karma. I'm not sure I fully understand that part. But okay. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul. Okay, I think we're the woman. Like thick black tar. The Lord drank the e-girl bath water. Whole village got cursed. I'm not. That checks out. You know, I want there to be an urban legend about the e-girl bath water. I think that sounds like a good urban legend. Can you hear it, curse bearer? You who so strongly desires the right. Kill them. Okay. Gotta take a drink. All right. Shigima Mansion reception room. Is the e-girl Chris Stone like grimy cat headphones? Maybe. I'm not sure what else it would be, so we'll go with that. Richter. Oh, that's the guy, right? Right? Isn't that our dude, our Texan? That's his name, right? Okay, just checking. I want to make sure I remembered correctly before I jump in. Okay. Back with me, ma'am. Can't say I understand what just happened, but it certainly seems to have put you in a good mood. This might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. It's hard to make him be flamboyant and Texan at the same time. Sweet dreams. Okay. Oh wow, now we'll know all about her. She's a housewife who resides in a manor near Shumoku Bridge. Her 11-year-old son, Shuichi, was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. The death of the was the result of a mistake on the part of the detective assigned to the case, a mistake which enraged the kidnapper and had him cut off all contact with the police, leaving no room for negotiation. The incident was covered up, and Shuichi's killer remains at large, leading the aggrieved Haruwe to call on the services of private investigator Richter Kai to uncover the truth. The Shigima family came from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They assumed important positions in the police force following the Meiji Revolution, thereby protecting their family's elevated status. Even today, many in the Shigima line work as police bureaucrats and senior police officers. Harue's father sits in upper echelons of the National Police Agency, and her husband, adopted into the Shigima clan through an arranged marriage, is also a highly respected agency official. However, as her family prioritizes work above all else, it wasn't long before Harue's marriage grew cold. Though she wants for nothing, she is isolated from her neighbors and withdrawn from society. Seeing her son grow into a young man gave Haruwe a purpose in life, but it was cut short by the kidnapping incident. Following the incident, Haruwe spent many days in a deep depression, breaking into sudden fits of shouting and wandering around in the middle of the night. Her cheerful, loving disposition faded away, and she took to making snide remarks at her husband, which only further soured their relationship. A few months ago, Harue's husband was transferred to another area for work and now rarely returns home, with Haruwe left to live in the large empty mansion alone. As a housekeeper who has been with the family for a long time comes in to take care of all the housework, Haruwe has nothing but time on her hands. Okay, fun facts. It's hard to be flamboyant and Texan at the same time. You know, it just is. They're two different accents. No, not dreams. Sounds like something I might want to hear about. Gosh, his accent's gonna be so bad. Okay, let's think. She gets to think too. My heart's still racing. This is it. My chance. At long last. Hmm. Can I look at anything else? Okay. Guest table. The guest table. I don't know where father got this old thing from, but I never liked it. Sorry, sir, we're gonna look at everything but you. To get into puzzles. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff for her to do. Um, yeah, I mean, he does look very Italian, but he had that Texan belt buckle, you know? It's like spaghetti westerns. A fax machine. I can send images to other places along the telephone network. I really don't know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. Okay, it's on rotary phone. The telephone. This mansion has a private line. Okay, it's good to know. Let's look at the scroll. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. Okay. There's a lot more to click on. Yeah, yeah. Bring in the Texan jokes. An arrangement of flowers. We bring in someone to do it. I don't even know what the flowers are called. You know, you should get into flower arranging if you have so much time on your hands. Sounds like a nice hobby. A stereo unit with separated speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one, even though he isn't one to listen to music often. A thing. Well, I'll be damned. If Is that what I think it is? Goodness, you made me jump. It's just a silly little sticker my son got from somewhere or other. He put it up just before. Well, you know what happened. I still can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a closer look. I knew it. It's Head Hencho from way back in set number 1. This is a real collector's item. Excuse me? Don't tell me you've never heard of the mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like rough and tumble delinquents. I've never heard of them, but this certainly seems to matter to you. The best part is, nobody knows who made them. They just started showing up around town, and soon enough, they'd won everybody's hearts. The story goes that they're made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind in specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. To think one would turn up here of all places, this is a good sign, I'm sure of it. Oh, well, that's nice. You know, you call a cute girl in Texas a tourist. um, let's see. Mockingbird number 1 discovered. Okay. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to find all of these? Yikes. Oh. But they have clues. So that's fine. These popular bird mascot stickers seem to pop up everywhere. Nobody knows who the legendary artist is behind these quirky birds, but they quickly became popular for their surreal yet oddly cute designs. Be in the right place at the right time in Honjo, and you might just be able to find all 20 of them scattered around. Legend has it, collecting them all will bring good luck. Wow. You love these little birds. They're pretty cute. Nikki's wearing a little jacket. Yeah. Little Brewster. He's got little sunglasses. It's so cute. Little delinquent. Switchblade tail. Actual legend or company legend. Yeah, this feels like it could just be like, I mean, it could be like a Banksy thing. It could also just be like some sort of promotion for like a new candy bar or something. Well, but you can't, I don't think you can just buy them. You gotta find them. Maybe. Hmm. Hello? Nope. Television. A color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have the latest gadgets. Unlike the latest models, there is no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. But with father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. Okay. Cool. Oh, clock. Gotta click on everything. Yeah, I mean, it's a cute little biker chicken. You know, what, like, regardless of what other delinquent activities he might be up to. The swinging of the pendulum echoes through the room. It feels livelier than usual with Richter here. Usually, it's just me. Okay. Let's think. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if we had anything more to think about after clicking. Yeah, I know. I was like, she's like, Father always buys the newest stuff, except this TV's really old. It was, I don't know. Maybe her father's not around anymore? Like, is that supposed to be it? I mean, she's supposed to be all lonely, right? A private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him. They said he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Ota City and saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. But after talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like the reliable sort. Okay. Um, Prime investor from with an office in Ota City, Tokyo, after taking on a request from Haruo Shigema to investigate the unsolved kidnapping and murder of her son, he gets caught up in the events surrounding the rite of resurrection. Once a police officer, Richter was racked with guilt over the police's inability to help all those in need and quit the force to start his own private investigation firm. However, his soft-hearted nature leads him to take on too many cases and has put his office in dire financial straits. How he is still in business is a mystery. It's one of the 7 mysteries. My father always loved the iPod 5. We would gather around and listen to the new Taylor Swift. Sounds like a good, nostalgic story to tell the youth. Um, Curse Echo none. Yeah, I know. They're just like really just dropping that on us. It's like, by the way, he doesn't have a Curse Echo. Everyone else had question marks. He used to have question marks, but now we're just giving it away. And presumably that means he won't have any either. So, spoilers. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it's also trying to trick us. 500 IQ just in such a way that everyone thinks he's not a detective. Honestly, it's good strategy. Um okay, so all right, how is his business in business? It's a mystery. One of the 500 mysteries, with some whispering that a wealthy patron is keeping him afloat. Richter studied alongside Detective June Ario at the police academy. Somewhat surprisingly, given his outlandish clothing and mannerisms, Richter excels at covert investigations and tailing his targets. He proudly refers to himself as an investigator extraordinaire, though that only ever succeeds at impressing himself. Richter's biggest source of happiness is nuzzling his pet female albino parakeet, Ernestine, which he keeps in his office. He also enjoys collecting mockingbird stickers, a popular line of merchandise featuring birds inexplicably dressed like delinquents, and can be frequently sighted searching around town for them. Why are they birds inexplicably dressed as delinquents? What do you mean inexplicably? They're just cute little cartoony stickers. They don't need an explanation. They're delinquents, okay? It's their choice. Their life. If they want to be Yakuza, they can. While out and about, Richter typically leaves the office and, more importantly, Ernestine in the care of Amamori, a junior high schooler who volunteered to assist Richter after being involved in a previous case. Okay. Um, hmm. All right. Good to know. Yeah, I hope Ernestine doesn't turn into a delinquent. Turn into a delinquent. Yeah, it is quite explicable. Um, okay. June is such a good name. It's an okay name. Okay. All right, and I'm thinking he's not going to be texting anymore because I don't think I can keep that up. We'll just make him be flamboyant, I guess, whatever that is. Um, Let me bring you up to speed. We're in the middle of a chat. We were in the middle of a chat when you suddenly started spacing out, and the whole time you were grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Just roll his R's. That's too hard. Thanks for the thing we've seen so far. Care to tell me what that was all about? Well, where to start? Hmm. Hmm, interesting. Very interesting. So, the haunting clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere, told you how to perform the rite of resurrection, and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe. But I guess I have to now. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. It looked like it popped clean out of the air. With evidence that clear, there's no denying that there's some supernatural force at work. Make her Texan. No, no. I mean, I could. She wouldn't be as hard, but um, I like the voice I have for her. It's a pretty okay voice. Okay. So what are we doing? Are we just talking to him again? I already clicked on everything. Oh, we didn't look at the chandelier. So important. The lights. If we know anything from Phantom of the Opera, chandeliers are surprisingly important. And also from Acquisitions Incorporated. Hmm. The chandelier is the only thing in here that's my choice. It's my favorite part of the room. Oh, well, clearly it's very important to click on. Oh, let's think. We haven't thought in a while. No, no new thoughts. Okay. Make them Texan. I already have some people with a country accent, and like Pentiment, Smokey's pretty country. It's kind of the same thing in my head. I don't think you quite understand. Oh, this isn't about evidence, and it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. I knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head, as clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched into my soul, along with the curse echo's resentful memories. So I, ca- so I can feel it, what it was like. They're Texans, inexplicably dressed with large belt buckles. Um, you want a very country accent? I don't know if I can do that. Um, I guess if your only requirement is can't understand it, then I suppose I can just make it very. It doesn't have to be good in that regard. Dying like they did hundreds of years ago, wreathed in flame, wreathing in pain, as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it. All the agony, all the rage. It fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do, just as long as they're carrying fire. Hmm. Yeah, she's had a rough time. I see. That could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Good grief. Talk about a spanner in the works. I say we take stock for a moment. Remind ourselves where we've come from and where we're going. That might be a good idea. Speedball lighter at someone, and the second touches them might launch my curse. I mean, maybe. Let's think. No new thoughts. Okay. We'll talk again. Okay, about the investigation, I guess. What choices? That's what you hired me for, ma'am. To look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Shuichi Shigima. Oh, yes. I remember. They never did find the one who did it. That's what I'm here about today, in fact. Kind of you to let me drop in so late, by the way. I've been turning over every last stone, and I've come up with a grand total of 1 lead. So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I've managed to make some headway. I remember. You were just about to tell me. Talk about the TV again. Heavily hint if he wants to watch TV. Mr. Gusto dropping a lighter when someone hits it back. Yeah, that could work too. That could work too. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll start with the Shigima kidnapping. Shigima we'll go with. A kidnapping and murder case that took place in Honjo, Sumida, around 1 year ago. Haruo Shigima's son, Shuichi, Haruo Shigima's son, Shuichi, age 11, was kidnapped on his way home from school, with a ransom being demanded that same evening. Yeah, Death Note. Initially, the kidnapping was thought of as a simple extortion scheme, but when it came to light that the Shigima family was closely tied to the police, and Shuichi was in fact the grandson of a senior official, it was quickly assumed that the perpetrator was acting upon a grudge against the police force. The kidnapping was treated as a direct attack against the good name of the police, and a large-scale investigation was launched that used the best equipment available to trace phone calls. This made it all the more embarrassing when they were unable to catch the culprit, losing the public's confidence. The culprit grew cocky, relentlessly mocking the police force. After 3 days of failure after failure, Haruo, it kind of sounds a little bit like Death Note, Haruo reached a breaking point. Spurred by concern for her son, she resolved to hand over the ransom money as fast as possible, but her husband and father, who held the prestige of the police in high regard, refused, saying that they would not let the criminal win by giving in to their demands. The increasingly frantic detective assigned to the case lost his temper when the criminal called to give an ultimatum, causing the culprit to never make contact again. Another week passed, and Shuichi's body was found floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi's death could be largely ascribed to the police's incompetence, but this was ultimately covered up with stringent media embargoes. The investigation was never closed, but the case has long gone cold. Basically, yeah. I mean, kind of. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, it sounds like not just the police, but her husband and her father are like the specific police. So not just any old police, but people in the family. He was a lonely 11. Can make a new one. I mean, that's true. He might not have a lot of soul dregs, so it's not hard to replace them. The Azure Heron Agency. He really likes birds, huh? Azure. I hate that word. Heron Agency. Richter Kai's private investigation firm in Kamada, Oda City. Originally, Kai thought to give it a simple name, like Kai's Detective Agency. Yeah, it's a little too on the nose for a detective. But upon hearing that people are more likely to pick names listed at the front of the phone book alphabetically, he decided to pick a name starting with an A. Thus, the Azure Heron Agency was established. However, it is questionable whether the heron, a bird of somewhat ominous significance, is an effective symbol for attracting customers. Even his own assistant has referred to the name as confusing at best. After all, rather than an Azure Heron, Richter keeps a white parrot as a pet, and dresses not in blue, but mostly in white. If there was a symbolic connection to be made here, it has surely been lost on all but Richter himself. A private investigator, also known as a private eye, is a detective who operates their own agency. Although there are no formal qualifications necessary to become a private investigator. I think there technically are, but at least in the US, but that's fine. Many are retired police agents or detectives due to the similarities between the work involved. At a glance, private investigation firms and inquiry offices might look similar, but they carry out different types of investigations. Inquiry offices special in conducting credit checks on businesses, while private investigators are generally involved in tailing persons of interest and gaining information surreptitiously. Such a good word. Just say Azure like it's Japanese. Azure. I don't know. That's hard to say in Japanese too. It's hard to say in every language. It's not a good word for blue, and I don't like it. There's so many better words for blue, like cerulean. Cerulean is a good one. He should have named it that. C is still pretty close at the beginning. Okay, was there someone else I missed before too? No, okay. Right? No, these are all people we already know. Okay. Elementary school student. That's a fun occupation. The only son of Haruo Shigema, he was kidnapped and murdered 1 year ago. His body was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi was a conscientious, brave young boy who was determined to protect his mother Haruo amid his father's frequent absences. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and displayed diligence and an impressive sense of responsibility from a young age, likely due to being raised in an extremely strict environment. Born in the early 70s, he spent his days immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus, taking English lessons, and training in kendo. Learning the abacus? What is there to really learn? It's just counting. I guess it is. Math is one of the greatest mysteries. Keep them occupied. Got my elementary school student salary. Oh, hey, Faku. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's... Look. He's an elementary school student, and he's learning the abacus, okay? It's an important job. Someone's gotta do it. I like how they just leave it in here with these, like, things that are much harder. It's fine. It's fine. Math is hard. I get it. Shuichi's tendency to put other people's needs over his own meant he died without ever telling his classmates how much he longed for them all to go out on a hunt for mockingbird stickers. You could end that pretty awkwardly, but no, he wanted to go out and hunt for mockingbird stickers. Okay. Yeah. That's true, it's true. They're like, oh, he must be smart because he was raised in a strict environment. Like, maybe not, you know? Yeah, I don't know. So, okay. Oh, so he's born in the early 70s, and he died a year ago at the age of, like, 11, so that makes him, so it checks out. We are in the mid-80s. What am I playing? So this is a game called, Paranormasight, The 7 Mysteries of Honjo, and we're, like, so, not sure about the big picture of what the game's about, to be completely honest. But there are people who have these curses, and the curses, they are kind of like the remnants of some like tragedy that happened that created an urban legend, which is aka one of the mysteries of Honjo. There's more than actually 7. 7 just sounds like a cooler number, and for like branding purposes. And so those urban legends, the tragedies that happened, created the urban legends, and then the soul that is involved in that original tragedy stuck around and is like this curse. And so when you are possessed essentially by that curse, then you have spirit sight, which is what it sounds like. And you can also kill people using a power that is kind of related to that curse. So like right now we are playing as Haruo, and she has the curse of this like clapper story of some like guy who was burned and had been clapping to like notify people of the fire, but evening bell was ringing so no one heard, so he tragically got burned alive. And so she has that curse, which means now she can kill people like magically who are in possession of fire or like a lighter or some sort of fire starting implement. And there's also curse stones that kind of like carry the curse with them as well, sort of unclear. And we can do the Rite of Resurrection and resurrect someone from the dead if we get enough soul dregs, which is something we get souls from people by killing people. Deep backstory and started a curse, and I call him some clapper guy. Look, he is some clapper guy. I gotta call him like he is. You know, just like Otto was just a normal guy, he was just some clapper guy, okay? Just like any of us. He was a good man, but he was just like one of us. Yeah, they can all kill people normally, that's true. I mean, it's so easy. Because playing it yesterday as Shogo, like, I didn't even press the kill button, it just happened. Like, I had no control over it. So, I definitely felt that, that, like, ease of killing because I didn't even do it. Yeah, so anyway, so that's the gist. And Haruwe here has lost her son. Presumably she wants to bring him back, and we can kill people. She already has an urge to kill people anyway, but she can also kill people for the soul dregs, and if she fills the cursed stone up with 100% soul dregs, different people have different amounts, other curse bearers have more, and when she fills it up, she can do the Rite of Resurrection. So, yep, the title's a good one. I'm so clever. Thank you for noticing. But yeah, so that's basically the gist of it, I guess. Little. Do we all have an urge to kill people? Honestly, I do not particularly have such an urge. It's very messy to kill people the normal way, you know? Even to kill people the magical way, it's also kind of messy. So, I don't like getting so dirty. You know, sometimes the titles are good, sometimes the titles aren't so good, so, you know. Although I do recommend, so, all my VODs are up on YouTube, or, like, most of the good ones. I mean, like, most of them, just a couple aren't. Ones that either I forgot to save, or a couple really early ones. Making thumbnails was fun, but also writing the descriptions was fun. I actually had for the most recent videos, I had a fun time writing the descriptions. So that's another secret place where you can find things that I enjoyed writing. I don't know if they're very fun to read, but you know, yeah, if you want the forbidden archives, exactly. If you want little more funny tidbits, potentially funny tidbits, that's where you can find them. What makes the not fun ones bad? There were a couple really early streams. The first game I streamed was Strange Horticulture, and that was really fun, and it went pretty okay. But there were a couple other streams where, like, there was one where no one showed up. I had one chatter the whole time, and it was me having my stream up. And it was just like, I had a headache. It was not fun for me to play the game, so I know it's not fun to watch the stream. Yeah, I mean, you'll hear me talking to you guys in VODs. You'll hear all your fun tidbits. But I don't have chat up on screen, so it doesn't really save the chat, but it's fine. It's fine. You'll have to go and reply to all the videos and claim all of your funny jokes. But yeah, so the not fun ones, there's only a couple. And they weren't fun, so I'm stealing your jokes, yeah. Well, I'm not stealing them. I know they're not mine. And I mean, I like to think that it's clear when I'm reading chat. You know, I'm just not crediting them. But you can go and claim them. It's fine. It's just like the Arwen quote came to mind, you know. You want him? Come and claim him. At the river. Oh, right. You want your jokes? You want them? Come and claim them. Alright. Yeah, maybe I am just talking to myself. Who knows? That's why if there's any YouTube watchers here in the future, you should go check out my Twitch and see for yourself if the people are real or not. Because who knows? Who knows? Oh yeah, and future viewer, people in chat are saying hi, even though you can't see it. You have to trust me on it. Everyone in chat is saying how much they love you. Every single person. Okay, let's think again. Do we have thinking? No. She doesn't think a whole lot. Okay. Oh, we gotta talk about this again. We're still not done. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I found, and then we can make a decision. All right. Stop stopping the conversation every 2 seconds. Is there something else I'm supposed to be looking at? Is there like someone behind me who I'm gonna die if I look at them? Because I'd prefer not to. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I found, and then we can make a decision. All right. Oh my god. You know, we still need to— oh, okay. Oh, okay, so we can't— fine, okay. It's just gonna be the same thing. We'll just talk about something else. I suppose there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. No, I'm very familiar. Then I'll leave that for the files to cover and just confirm a few things about the case. The police traced the culprit's calls back to, let's see here, Northern Oyoko River here in Sumida City. That's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls were coming from, but it was almost certainly the same location that Shuichi was being held captive, since Shuichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls. Northern Oyoko River is quite a distance from Shuichi's normal school commute. Factoring in that he was seen at school but went missing before he arrived at his house, it's likely that he was abducted by a car on his route home. Maybe, but— exactly! Shuichi was a clever boy. He never would have gotten into a car with a stranger. That's right. I was very firm about that. I was very strict, and that's how he became smart. I know he understood, too. I even saw him warning the other children. He was annoying. It's possible that they forced him into the car. The only issue there is there weren't any witnesses to the kidnapping. You can't bundle someone into a car with that many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward to say they saw anything suspicious. So, did they target him at some other time? Or did somewhere away from his usual route? Both of those seem a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, they decided that the kidnapper must just have gotten lucky. All the kids threw rocks at him. He was loved by his friends. Exactly. Well, that's what they always say, right? Like, you know, oh, they were bullied, blah, 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 and then they pull the, like, he was loved by all. Perfect child. And then if you actually dig into the history, they're like, yeah, you know, not so clean as the police reports make it seem. Well, why not turn the problem on its head? Okay. The kidnapper managed to convince Shuichi to get into their car, but how? The only thing that makes sense to me is if they were somebody that he would have a reason to trust. A teacher, perhaps, or a relative, or somebody else that he knew. But all of the adults Shuichi knew had alibis. The police checked them all thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like the cops. But what if it wasn't someone he knew? Or rather, what if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. The Shigema family has close ties with the police after all. He would have had a reason to trust them. You might be right. But surely that couldn't have— well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point after all. They're meant to be visible deterrent against crime. Yep, that's why we, yeah, maybe a teacher had something against her. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, it could just be, oh, well, he's the grandson of the like chief of police or whatever it is, but like I don't know, feels like there's more behind it. I want to know if she had enemies, right? That's really what we should be looking for here. More motive. He's gonna do it. He's got his thinking hat on, his thinking cap, if you will. But here's another interesting little bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody pictures women or children. It's just a fun piece of information, a little tidbit I know as a private detective, because that's useful for private detectives to know. It's almost like it's my job. Even kids who've been warned about stranger danger, I like that he said stranger danger, often subconsciously expect that danger to look like an adult man. Besides, Shuichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. He must have had a strong sense of right and wrong. That's right. I raised him very strict. Wait, surely you can't mean... Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Shuichi asking for help, what would he have done? What if it were his mother? If someone like that said they were lost and asked him for directions, would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him that a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. You could certainly argue that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays, but if Shuichi believed it, then we might have something here. Then, if you think the culprit was a young woman, but it was a man's voice on the phone. She might have been an accomplice, or maybe she didn't even realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hasn't come forward. She herself might not realize she had anything to do with the case. Yeah, you don't really tell the you don't tell kids to accuse the officer of being a fake officer. I mean, it could have been us. Could have been us. That would be quite the twist. Yeah, it's not like all adult men are criminals. Just hop in my van and I'll explain it. Explain it all to you. Wrong place, wrong time? Could be. So the question is, did anybody see Shuichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? See, what I said about people's biases, that goes for witnesses too. And I figured that maybe, if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Shuichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. And one man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say that for sure yet. It turned out he wanted something from me, so he asked if we could talk in private. Talk in private? Someone's getting to him before we are. Who's his new boyfriend? That's true. Maybe the person did actually really need help, and the kidnapper took it as an opportunity. That's true. It's real criminal. Me, it should be legal to be so cute. Nah. New streamer. No, not executed. Oh, well, you know, I pin a lot of crimes on other people, so I can understand. I understand. I've taught you well. Taught you so well. Okay. All right, this should do. There's no one around. We can speak in confidence. Or, excuse me, what was your name again? John, John Nucci? Janochi? Got it. Well, Janochi, I'm all ears. Just so we're on the same page. You're a private detective investigating Shuichi Shigama's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course. What else do I look like? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Oh, forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger. I need your help. You'll excuse me if that caught me a little off guard. Let me ask you straight. Who is trying to kill you? Yep, true, Casper. Mm, okay, yeah. Um, this is I really love how like campy it kind of is. Um, Especially, I don't know if all the routes are kind of the same because this definitely feels a slightly different vibe. Um, with like the whole detective stuff going on, feels a little bit more. He's like a JoJo character. I haven't seen enough JoJo to like really fully appreciate that, but I just enough to get what you mean, and yeah, I kind of get it. Um, it's just everything. It's very dramatic, this route. And I like it. I like it. Again, slightly different vibe, and I like that because it's a different, little bit different story. So, a student called Michio Shiraishi. Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. It's nothing like that. That girl, she's a murderer. I'm the only one who knows, but I saw what she did. Michio Shiraishi. I saw her kidnap Shuichi Shigema. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and lead him away. I didn't think much of it at the time. But then he went missing. She murdered him, I'm sure of it. Or at least, she's got something to do with it. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get to me. If that's true, you've been sitting on some valuable information. Why didn't you tell anybody? Well, you see, if you can't explain that, I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me she'd kill me if I spoke a word. You're telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life? So you've been sitting on that all this time, and you think she's coming for you now that you've spilled the beans? Yes, that's it, exactly. I'm begging you, don't let her get to me. Arrest her, I'm telling you. She's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying, but it just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? Are you a little wimpy coward boy? Yeah, the post said a lot, yeah. You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true, her house, forget it. Why do I even bother? You seem dubious enough to believe me, but I should have known you'd never understand. Enough, I'll find someone else to help me. Yeah, yeah, we need a little bit of toxic masculinity. I mean, is it really Japan if there's not a little bit of toxic masculinity involved somewhere along the line, you know? Unfortunately for Japan. Hopefully they change one of these days, fingers crossed. Hmm. Gotta take a drink. Honestly, the US has a lot of toxic masculinity too. So, you know, fair is fair. Yeah. I mean, something builds character, exactly. You gotta be whatever. Oops. Anyway, it's about the long and short of it. I can hardly believe it. At the time, I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk, but I'm starting to see that there might have been more to it. Then, if we can just find that girl, curse or no curse, if she was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping, then there's a good chance she knows something. On top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name is Kohei how did I pronounce it? Janucci. He's a teacher at Komagata High School, here in Sumida. A teacher. That this schoolgirl is one of his students? I think that's very likely. Okay. Any thoughts? No, we still have no new thoughts. Um, didn't we have four options before? Did we lose an option? At least we've got a lead. Hopefully, it'll be the breakthrough we're looking for. Okay, so enough. Oh, good. And it gave us a check mark that time. All right, let's talk about the rite of resurrection. You just imagine some stuttering trying to say the name. Oh, yeah. It's always been three? Okay. For some reason, I thought it was four. Um, the rite of resurrection, huh? I read about that in an occult magazine the other day. Apparently, some old books showed up recently with all the gory details. And they say that the rite can be found somewhere in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. It felt like my prayers had been heard. Like I had hope, real hope, for the first time. Ever since that awful day, I've wondered, what if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that if I'd done something differently, Shuichi would still be alive. You can't blame yourself, ma'am. It was the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know that won't help any. Grief is funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the right. Guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. I can tell how much he meant to you. Good guess, buddy. It's her son. Oh, you made me a drawing? Oh yeah, I'd love to see it. You to tweet it to me. My Twitter's in my bio if you don't. Um, I might have a. I don't know if you have my Twitter, but you might also there might be a Twitter command, exclamation mark Twitter maybe. Um, she should have paid the ransom, but it's entirely the fault of her husband and the police. I mean, yeah, I mean like the uh okay, yeah, there you go. But okay, yeah. I'm gonna probably because I'm not gonna be able to pull it up right now. Um, but maybe I can go through and find it. Um, yeah, she could have paid the ransom, but I'll look at it later and then I'll. So I said tweet it to me so I can get back to you about it. But I'm not gonna be able to pull it up because it'll mess up my stream and stuff. And the URL isn't working. Okay. um, well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'll accept it at any time. Um, but thank you in advance. But yeah, so she could have paid the ransom, but like, I mean, the actual police and her loved ones but like, especially the police, were telling her not to. Like, honestly, you should probably listen to the police and like the investigations and stuff. So, like, I'd say it's definitely their fault and not hers. Um, you know? So she shouldn't keep asking what if. She was doing a good job. After 3 days she should have. Not if the police, not if she trusted the police know what they're doing, which might be a big ask, but like, I mean, they're, you know, they're her husband and her father, so like, you know, she might trust that they're good police officers. She's raised in a family of hundreds of years of police officers. That's true. Maybe he did die on his own. Yeah, we don't know. Kidnappers could have set him free and then he could have just gone for a swim and died. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hmm. Saying it would hurt the police image. Mm. Well, I mean, they might have not said that out loud, right? That might have just been the part that they said in their heads. They might have just told her it's not a smart choice. And she just listened, and they're like, and they just had bad motives, but um, hmm, um, what do you mean live? Yeah, that's my Twitter handle if you want to tweet it to me. Um, yeah, I mean, like, what would be the point in killing? And like, the girl has this curse, but like, what does it have to do with the kidnapping? Like, that's what I kind of want to know. Like, did I feel like maybe she killed the kidnappers, you know? And but then I don't know what happened to him. Hmm. Hmm. What was her curse stone again? Um. All right, we don't know anything about her. Okay. Oh, she was at the high school. The high school is the site of the procession. The this one. Nope, wrong one. The Fool's Procession. But honestly, the way the clappers turned out, who knows what this one's actually about? Hmm. Hmm. Do they base off something or whoever was nearby at the time? That's true. I don't know. Hmm. If you have school tomorrow, then you should probably go to sleep if you need. The VOD will still be around. Fool's Procession. You're on your way back to work every morning. That's true. You can watch the VOD. Or you could keep watching until you just fall asleep. That that works. That feels like a fair compromise. All right, well, let's continue here. But, and this is a big but, says Richter, dramatically. Is this right? If this right is the real deal, using it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. Is that a problem? If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, well, you didn't stop her when she killed Shogo. So, yeah, I've almost all my VODs up on YouTube. All the ones that are going to be up are up. So, you know. Um, he was watching us, yeah, and he did not stop her. I mean, he might have tried, but like he didn't succeed. A shame, huh? That's all. I thought if I'm going to be competing with other curse bearers, then your detective skills might come in useful. But you realize we're talking about ending someone's life, right? Don't you see an issue with that? No. I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. Is that so? Or that's so, is it? Dear, oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? Mm. Yeah, yeah, it's just like that song. Maybe he didn't even know we were gonna get killed. Maybe, maybe. Mm, yeah, I don't think we told him about um about how it activates. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you won't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need you to kill the other curse bearers. I only need you to find them. I won't be party to murder, ma'am. Not even for a client. See, the way he says ma'am feels very Texan. The whole thing. I won't be party to murder, ma'am. Not even for a client. A little Texan attempt. Ooh, I'll pay you, or that's a shame. Hmm. 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 Well, I'm not gonna say I'll pay you, because it's literally what the client part means. He just said no. Honest as sugar, not saying anything. Yeah, yeah. Spits out chewing tobacco, not even for a client. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know what she's thinking with the. Also, I don't want to leave a cursor on her nose. It's weird. Gotta get a drink. The I'll pay you part, we're not gonna say that because like he literally just said not for a client. Stupid. Use your brain. No, was no one strict with you? I see. I didn't realize you were so stubborn. Let me say though, it's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's curse stone after they've filled it with soul dregs? If okay, because that was what she was asking for. Oh, interesting. She gave Shogo an ultimatum, and she was like, "I'm not going to use it. I don't want to use it. I just want to take your soul dregs. I will." And he was like, "Oh, well, um, so what if I don't give it to you, you're going to kill me?" And she's like, "I don't want to, but if it comes to that." And like, um, and she wasn't bluffing, but she was put in kind of a similar situation to the ransom peoples, the kidnappers. Yeah, we asked her a long series of questions. It was kind of weird. Um, so like she clearly didn't want to kill us. Um, but she did, and it does feel like just like the kidnappers who finally like gave in on the ultimatum and killed Shuichi. Similar thing, similar thing. But that would make sense for why Richter didn't think she would do it. Well, he should know though, because she clearly here, yeah, we died. But she clearly was okay with killing. So if he's hiding back there, being like, oh, he's not just gonna give it to her. Like, obviously, she's gonna kill us. She said she wants to kill people and that she's fine with it. She just needed you to find them for her. That's literally it. So that situation happened. Why is he so surprised? I don't know if he's so surprised, but why would he be surprised if she did kill him? It's exactly still his fault. Still her fault too, but also his fault. He's not off the hook. Okay. If that was all you were after, then I could lend you my services guilt-free. If the other curse bearers want to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not going to be a hero here. I guess there's no guarantee a stolen curse stone will work, but we can worry about that later. Well then, I suppose we have a deal. We try this way, but he understands that she has to kill because yeah. I mean, I guess he might understand, but mm, he agreed only if she didn't actually kill them, though, is the thing. Like, she asked, I just want you to find them for me, and then I kill them. And he was like, okay, I'll help you find them only if you don't kill them, though. So he's not cool with the killing. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Well, then, I suppose we have a deal. Although, what if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? No, that's literally what he's telling you to do. Oh, using your curse by killing. Okay, this is the question we have here. That would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you now. Ah, see? He is anti-killing. That's true. She can also be killed in turn. Yep, yep. My. That's it. My. Okay. About my curse. Okay. He's basically Batman. Yeah, it's basically. Basically. Batman dresses in all white, right? No, he's Birdman. He's Birdman. He has his little birds he loves. Anti-killing. Yeah, he's clearly no Texan. Gotta take his belt off. You don't deserve the belts of the Texans until you have shed blood, buddy. Okay. Um, before we go any further, why don't you tell me about that curse of yours? The haunting clappers, was it? That's one of the 7 mysteries of Honjo, if I remember correctly. That's right. Yeah, they're in a fever dream. Go to sleep. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing that. In that case, my money would be on all the curse bearers being somewhere in Honjo. It literally is a 7 mysteries of Honjo, Richter. Come on. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We'll need to be ready. The curses make their bearers more willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. Okay. Let's talk about my curse more. And if I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or a lighter on their possession. Is that correct? Wait, so it can be a closed flame, but a lighter is also too much. But an enclosed flame is fine. That's right. The entry requirements are so loose, maybe they don't need to be on. I mean, that's true. Maybe. I mean, yeah, there aren't 7 of them, and they're not all super mysterious, so the Honjo part could be called into question as well. That's true. But maybe what if they are in Honjo, the 7 mysteries of Honjo? But again, yeah. But like what if there were 7 of them? That already, is invalid. So, um oh, and Faku LMAO is laugh my ass off is what that means. It's a heightened form of LOL. Um some dude named Honjo less mystery. Um Honestly, I think we're all mysteries of Honjo. I think um but I'm not sure. That in itself is one of the mysteries. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I'm guessing it punishes those who don't heed the warning. It seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use. Although it's harder to say how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. You really think it's that good? The target can't do much to throw it off, and it has a nice long activation window. What does that mean? Can she, like, curse someone and if they pick up a lighter, then they die? That doesn't sound right. I don't know. I think hers is not a very good one, to be honest. Um, yeah, it is more surprising if they were in Honjo. Um, I gotta add that when I'm affiliated, I'll look into it. When I'm affiliated, still a while away. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did, we're gonna only get rid of our lighter, and then it completely ruined everything. But like, I don't know, personally, I never have a lighter on me or fire. So like she'd like never be able to kill me. So I don't know. It felt, and we only just so happened to pick up that lighter, like as a complete coincidence. So like if she had found us a couple hours earlier, we wouldn't have had the lighter. If we had gone to her first, then like we wouldn't have found the lighter at the other spot. So she wouldn't have been able to kill us anyway. It's not a very good one. Richter doesn't know what he's talking about. But to be fair, he doesn't know how it stacks up with the others. He doesn't know what's available. There are other ones that are cooler. So, oh, compared to turning your back, it's only a brief window to kill him. That's true. That's true. Um, Carry a lighter, already dead. Only if she wants you dead. Yeah, can't murder me because I don't smoke. Or commit arson. Yeah, exactly. We would have died to the darkness guy because the lighter saved us there. Um, but what if we also just turned on a light? Or what if we were a little bit more patient? Like all this is happening like in like one day, which is quite cramped up timing. Um, so like this could be drawn out in a whole like longer like anime plot, and we could be like watching the news for things like kind of, like a little bit more Death Note style. And trying to figure out where the different curse bearers are and who they are and stuff like that. Could be like one route, like angle to take for this. Um, and at that point, we could just not try and hunt them out in the dark, like at night. Because normally we wouldn't be like, oh, we have to get all these before the end of the night. Um, that was a weird, like, deadline we put for ourselves, which I don't think we really needed. Um, we could have, been a little bit more careful about it and just intended to figure out who they were over the course of the next few weeks, you know? You think Future died? I haven't read that. Um, 1950 cell phone flashlight. That's true, it's true. We could have a flashlight, yeah. Yeah. Carry a lighter for work. Yeah, exactly. There's all sorts of reasons to carry a lighter. I just happen to not do so. Um, racing the oh yeah, we can't revive her if she's buried. How long were we expecting that ambulance to take? It took us hours. I guess we could always like try to sneak in the morgue. I guess we had until her burial, maybe. I guess. Unclear. Do the difference between a hippo and a zippo? No. The letter Z. H. C. ZH. ZH in a French accent. One's really big and heavy, and the other is a little lighter. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll take a drink. Okay. Um, it's big that it works on lighters. Two, just slip one into your target's pocket. Okay. I guess. I mean, you can't just, that's harder. And say that condition were already fulfilled before they even knew you're there. They wouldn't even know what hit them. I feel like I feel someone slipping something in my pocket, though. Like, I guess to be fair, they don't need, like, they'd be like, what was that? And then she can kill them. So, I don't know. Maybe I won't have to actually use it. I could just tell someone I could. I could just tell someone I could, and they'd have to do what I said. Threats could work, although without any proof, it'll come down to how convincing you can be. If only you could use the curse, then back out at the last second. At the last second? What an interesting idea. I have a lighter right here. We could try it now. That's an interesting proposition, but maybe not. I'm not quite crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying. And I don't think it's just the curse. You flatterer. Hmm. Last night when I was wondering why no one was bluffing. Yeah, well, the thing is, though, she actually used the curse, so, like, she knew that she could kill us, I assume. Hmm. Okay, talk about my curse some more. As for what we do next, first of all, I think you should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside of your normal routine. Okay? Right then, have you decided what you want me working on? Help me with the right or investigate the kidnapping? Hmm. I want to investigate the kidnapping. Like the right, it's just bad business. I know she wants to, but like we're gonna investigate the kidnapping. Also, I want to find out more about this high school girl. Yeah, she did fall apart when we threw the lighter in the lake, exactly. So she kind of knew. Finally, I have a lead. I need to know what happened to my son. Your wish is my command, ma'am. I'll focus all my efforts on looking into the kidnapping. Although, something just occurred to me. You can't investigate the matter at night, can you? At least until the sun rises? Could you search for the other curse bearers? Heh, all right, I see how it is. Well, I'd be happy to help. Odds are good that the other curse bearers are also working by night. Anyone they kill under the cover of darkness won't be discovered until sunrise. I bet they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. Okay. I wouldn't. See, I wouldn't. Richter, I wouldn't. That's where we're different. I would have been better. You can't catch me with your private eye skills. So it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night, and once the city wakes up, and I can start asking questions, I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. I'll even try and find Miss Shiraishi. Now, I'll even try and find Miss Shiraishi as part of the bargain. Thank you. That's more than enough. Okay. Um, Spending all night investigating high school girls. Um, when does Richter intend to sleep? You know what? He doesn't need sleep. Look how fabulous he is. Does that man need sleep? No. No, he doesn't. Automod at it again. I didn't get a chance to have that chat with Automod yet. He's doing drugs. Um, line of instant coffee. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could see it. Okay. Now then. I see. I should get to work. There's only so much time before sunrise. I'll call you if I find out anything new. You stay here and keep a lookout. All right. There's no telling what kinds of curses you might find out on the streets tonight. Don't go outside if you can help it. And try to be ready for anything. I will. Well, if that's all, I should be going. This man is so dramatic. Hmm. Okay. Determined to use your right, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Gotta take a drink. This might be the last little episode we do tonight. Because I don't want to stream for too long. So, okay. It's almost been an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened, but he hasn't. Both been a sign of bad harvest. No, no, not bad harvest. So all I can do is wait and wait. Okay. Let's think. I know it's dangerous to go out, but I just can't sit here and let this opportunity pass me by. I have to look for her. For Michio Shiraishi. But first, I need to find more soul dregs. Yeah, wait a minute. So our lead was a curse bearer, but Richter was like, oh, we can't find anything out at night. I might as well just search for the curse bearers. We can't investigate. But our one lead is a curse bearer. And they're probably out fighting each other, is what he literally just said. So, like, you can't wait until morning. She might be dead by morning. Can finally use the TV. Yeah, we got a murder. No time for TV. Let's look at the things. Okay. I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. Yeah, we're looking at our phone. Got it, got it. Oh. Okay, but it doesn't have a little check mark on it, so presumably he's gonna call us. I've seen it too often to feel anything from it now. Okay, that was different. The flowers put me at ease just a little. Let's listen to music. Should I put a record on? No, it's too late for that. I'm not in the mood for music anyway. Okay. Look at the clock. The ticking seems so loud. It just goes to show how quiet it is. Oops. Oh, I can zoom in. Forgot about that. Newspaper? He's basically just Pokemon. I mean, kind of, yeah. Gotta catch all the soul drags. What's this, a newspaper? It must have fallen off the chair. Don't read it. Why would we not read it? Let's read it. What do we have to do with our time? It's a newspaper. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken the time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. Oh god, okay. Look at the economy. Ugh. Look at society. Go down through the list. It looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and industrial waste, and it stank so badly it'd make my eyes water. Eventually people started getting sick, and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Fortunately, it's gotten better since then. Yeah, the daily life in an 80s Japanese woman. What? 80s Japanese wife. Yep. Yep, pretty much. For the kid here and for the minds. Compare this to like those little have you seen the little like TikTok videos of the like housewife in Japan, like modern Japanese home videos? Where she's like sitting around like munching on chips, and she has like a million chip bags and her hair's all like crazy, and she's just watching TV, and her husband texts her like, "Oh, I just got off the train on my way home." And she like has to run and clean and do all the little ASMR activities around her house. It's like that, but like the 80s. So the contrast. Um, Although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog. Okay. Let's read economy articles. All sorts of articles about the current state of the economy. Now that the post-war boom has passed its peak, we're moving into the era of large corporations. It's about 220, 230 yen to the dollar. Oh, okay. So like about like the yen is about half of what it is now compared to the dollar, I think. Oh, hey, good night, Don. How are you doing? Into the dollar. Manufacturing is on the rise and exports are healthy. The dollar's down from its height, and people are saying it could fall further. But that still is because right now it's like what? Well, at least in the past years, I know the past year itself has been the dollar's been crazy compared to other things, but like it roughly 100 yen to the dollar, um, give or take. This is like 200 yen to the dollar, which means the yen is half the comparison. So the dollar's down from its height. How high was it? I guess post-war it might have been different. I don't know. There's no denying how much the standards of living have improved in the past few years. It's common to own a car and television now, and supermarkets are better stocked than ever. Oh, that's the bubble thing, right? Don't people talk about that in Japan in the 80s? What the bubble? There's something about the bubble economy, right? That's a thing. I don't know a whole lot about it though. Look at the culture articles. Okay. Now that everyone has more spending money to go around, people are coming up with all kinds of new diversions. It seems like only yesterday that people were flocking to the arcades to shoot aliens. I feel like everywhere had a bubble at some point. I have seen specifically people like in I don't know if they're a manga or anime or online, a little bit in all of them probably talk about the bubble economy like specifically in Japan in the 80s. That's where I've heard it. And I remember because I thought it was kind of cool because I was like, "Oh, like bubbles." And then I imagine like um like Japanese street fashion, like Harajuku street fashion but with like bubbles or something. It's like a very like bubbly pop like J-pop girl bands or something, and then I put that into the 80s, and that's what I imagine the economy to be like. So it kind of stands out in my mind because when you're talking about the economy, it usually doesn't look like that. But in my head, the bubble economy does, and I like it. It takes economics and makes it fun and exciting. Okay, but now we have these enormous theme parks and gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions. Everyone's talking about superhero series, foreign films, and movies based on the latest bestseller. Back in my day, fusion rock and folk music was all the rage. But now it's all about city pop and idols. Yeah, it's because of the bubble economy. See, told you. I find it hard to care about that sort of thing anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you have a bubble economy. Things get good and positive for a little bit before the bubble pops. Look at the education articles. Everyone attends high school now, even girls. Universal education policy, they call it. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school. Education is the backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fierce, though. The new generation is rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that. Or was he? I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him. Okay, so anyway. Oh, wait, we can read more about the others? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're gonna browse through. Called the Gilded Age, 100 years compared to about being like 10 or 20. I don't know. I think Gilded Ages have been pretty short as well. Um, I'm not really sure what differentiates them exactly. I don't really watch much television. Well, you have a TV. Why don't you watch it? It feels as if all the information in the world gets passed through that little black box. But father stopped them from reporting on the kidnapping back when it happened. I was glad about that. Less fuss. Yeah, but then no one's gonna find him. Okay. If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes. They found a police officer dead in a local park just the other day. Oh, that's what the guys are doing. Our little kissy face boy and his friend. A lot of my family are in the police. I hope it wasn't anybody I knew. I don't read the news anymore. Not since last year. It brings back bad memories. Okay. Well, let's read it again. Suicide at local high school? Oh, I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. She was bullied, I think. Or maybe it was something about exam pressure? What? But no, this can't be right. Her name? Michio Shiraishi from Komagata High School. It can't be. Oh no. Yeah, we're not reading education ones because that reminds us of our son. All these others, he did not have social life, he did not have money, he did not have culture, and he did not watch TV. So these other ones are safe categories. Okay. Let's read more about the economy. Although with everyone flocking to the city, land prices are skyrocketing. Nowadays, most people can only dream of home ownership. Too real. The city center going to be nothing but apartments before long. I'm not exactly a businesswoman, so this all feels like another world to me. Okay. Culture. I hear the big news. A big new thing is some mascot line of delinquent birds. Mockingbirds, I think it's called. He literally just told you. Was that what Richter was talking about? Were you not paying attention? Trends seem to have such short shelf lives now, with how quickly the times are changing. Just wait until TikTok. I think I'm just too old to keep up anymore. It's young people who are leading the way, with their modern worldviews. My generation will only fall further behind. Okay. She's so sad. Yep. Housewife dementia. Honestly, maybe. She's, like, checked out. After. More like grieving mother dementia, I think. Now the comedy boom is over, all the comedians are flocking to other genres. What? This is a weird phrase. Sorry. The bubble economy and then the bubble comedy? The economy. Okay. All the comedians are moving to the occult. Is this when clowns started becoming bad and evil and creepy? Is that what happened? The occult seems really popular at the moment. Look at all these paranormal specials. Okay. Oh, we finished the newspaper. Yay! Okay. Somebody saw a video, Subway Surfers on, yep. Yep, exactly. Okay. Have we looked at every... Oh, no, we haven't looked at the table. Oh, I never offered him something. I never learned how to make it. Oh, that's fine. Can we think? Michio Shiraishi, the same girl who witnessed my son's kidnapping, committed suicide last week. But that means Mr. Janucci is terrified of someone who already died? Is that what he meant by a curse? I can't work this out on my own. Maybe Richter will know. Why won't he call? Oh, I haven't left it off the hook, have I? Okay, wait. First off, we need to check the TV. There's nothing on at this hour. I see no point in turning it on. The zoom in is weird. Let's do a let's play on newspaper next time. Yeah. I learned about how I didn't want to live in the 80s. And yeah. Whenever the bubble was about to pop. I mean, it's very informative. Very informative newspaper. Okay. I've made sure the receiver is on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. Ah, there we go. That must be him. I guess we'll answer. Let's answer. Comedy skit on messing up a sacrifice, yeah. Occult comedy. Oh, comedy. Guess. Occult midi. Hello, Shigima residence. Gotta take a drink. Komagata Bridge. Is this by Komagata High School? Richter called me out to meet him, and we came here to Kapagata Bridge. Richter, there's something I need to tell you. Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. Let me think. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. Okay, so let's look at all the things. Are you Komagata? Richter, do you like occult comedies? The Sumida River. The water is filthy and horrid, but at night, when it's still, it looks almost peaceful. You know, it can be filthy and horrid and peaceful. Those aren't mutually exclusive. Can I ask you something, ma'am? Is the Sumida River what you Honjo folks picture when you think of home? I couldn't say. All I can tell you is that I can hardly stand the sight of it. Right. Should have guessed. Yeah, that's where my son was found, asshole. This was where they found him, after he went missing. All alone, floating in that horrible water. All I can think is how scared he must have been. How cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? Have family like yours. I've come here every day since then. And I prayed to the river to give him back. To give me back my son. Day after day after day. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where our world met the next. So the act of crossing flowing water had a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chuo saw the Sumida River the same way. The bloated squirrel is so serene, yeah. I mean, it is. It's not moving. It's very calm and peaceful. Yeah, like Charon. Yeah, most cultures have like a river around the underworld. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. That same place would later become Honjo. Honjo is the afterlife. We're all dead. Wow. How about that? All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took root. Okay. But then the Ryogoku Bridge sprang up after the Great Fire of Meriki, and just like that, Honjo was part of the city too. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounded it with man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways. And making those canals is like metaphor for murder. Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told. They were. In a physical, literal sense, but symbolically and metaphorically. That's not all they were for. Their other purpose was to contain all the corruption that had built up on the far shore, and stop it leaking through to our side of the Great Divide. Are you sure you're just a private investigator and you're not, like, an occult comedian? So Moses, yeah, I don't know. Yes, because Moses, basically gave them to the promised land, and it kind of has that idea of like the afterlife being a promised land, I guess. I don't know. There are definitely ways to read into that, I'm sure, with some thought. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially, there was a spiritual one too. Yeah, mostly like a medium, right? Between the mortal people and God. So that's what that symbolizes, perhaps. Yeah, we can delve deeper into it during our next. Welcome to Bible study, where we talk about things that we don't really know a whole lot about and just speculate. So if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is a place where the real world meets the afterlife? Exactly. That's why the rite of resurrection is here, rather than anywhere else. I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the 7 mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess that would make this spot we're standing now, right over the water, the border between life and death. If ever there was a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. I reckon it's here. He's so Texan. It's funny that you mentioned praying to the river. That might have done more than you think. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Just thinking aloud, man. Well, it's a nice thought. Okay. Didn't we already have this? A Class A river. What are the different classes of rivers? I need a new little file on that. That is part of the Arakawa River system, which runs through much of eastern Tokyo and empties into Tokyo Bay. During the Edo period, Sumida's riverbanks played a key role in the transportation of lumber used for construction. In addition to its logistical importance, it was also a place for the common folk to gather and enjoy activities. River activities at the river, such as seasonal flower viewing or river bathing. Yeah, you need a river for that. And there exist many woodblock prints depicting such activities. They sound like they're kind of salacious. They're flower viewing and river bathing. Dirty woodblock prints. The area became plagued with sewage issues when the surrounding environs were industrialized in the post-war period, but the situation has improved since. Thanks to the bubble economy. Many unique bridges span the Sumida River, including the Ryogoku and Azumabashi bridges, which attract a large number of visitors as sightseeing spots. Massive fireworks displays in the summer are also always sure to draw a crowd. The river has served as a cornerstone for both the city and its people, having both aided in its development and serving as an inspiring backdrop for countless works of art and literature. It's a Class D river full of bodies. Yeah, it's mucky and gross. I mean, it's not grade A river. It's just a Class A river. Slightly different, slightly different. Okay. Okay, enough of that. Oh, right. Oh, we're not done talking about the river yet? Jeez. Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you? Go ahead. It must have been about 20 years now, when I was still a schoolgirl. Back then, the Sumida River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy, and it stank. You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating. Hey, you were right. And one day, among all the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand. What? It was almost a miracle when you stopped to think about it. What were the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognizable? And that although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have an identifiable scar, and that they could tell it had been a murder from the blade marks on the bone? What? Are you just making this up? Is this one of your mysteries? Is this another mystery? Wait, are you talking about the Najima murders? So you have heard of it. I'm impressed. It's almost like investigating is your job. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at the time? I wasn't really aware of it then. I only heard about it after the fact. Yep, a true Class D river. Exactly. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours. Okay, the Najima murders. A notorious case from over 2 decades ago involving the murder of a female high school student. It first came to the attention of the authorities when part of a human left hand was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Testing revealed it to belong to a missing female high school student, and it appeared to have been severed deliberately. As it appeared to have been severed deliberately, the police launched a murder investigation. A large-scale search of the river was organized, but the highly polluted state of the water made this impossible. Visibility was poor. The stench was intense, and the divers quickly fell ill. They succeeded in recovering only the victim's head and what appeared to be part of her leg before the search was called off. At the time of the incident, the Sumida River was as polluted as it had ever been. Neither fish nor shellfish could survive in it, eventually causing the annual fireworks festival to be called off indefinitely. Do you need fish and shellfish for the fireworks? Unclear of the logic, but okay. Over the course of the search, the police discovered a number of unidentified human bones. This caused a stir among the public, as several other young women had gone missing in recent years in the Tokyo area, and it was feared that they may have fallen victim to the same fate. Forensic technologies at the time, however, were not advanced enough to determine the identities of the deceased, and so the police were unable to open any inquiries. Due to the overwhelming lack of circumstantial evidence, the investigation ground to a halt until a hitherto unrelated individual came to its attention. During a questioning about a separate incident, Fumichika Najima, a 36-year-old shop owner with no relation to the victim, divulged details about her that had never been released to the general public. An investigation into his background was conducted, leading to his arrest. Najima testified that he had snatched his victim from the street and confined her to the underground storeroom of his shop, which also served as his living quarters. He chose her for no special reason, but simply decided she was an opportune target on seeing her walking alone at night. After keeping her locked up for several days, he restrained her, sewed her mouth shut, and severed her fingers and toes with a box cutter while she was still conscious. We're a true crime channel now, guys. Enjoy. Can't bathe in the water if it doesn't have a crab pinching your toe. Yeah, exactly. Okay. As she screamed silently behind her sealed lips, he proceeded to her wrists, her ankles, her elbows, her knees, working his way inwards slowly and methodically. His victim constantly wavered in and out of consciousness. Her ordeal continued until she died of blood loss. Najima dismembered the rest of her body and disposed of it behind his home in the Sumida River before cleaning his storeroom and returning to his everyday routine as if nothing had happened. The brutality of his actions shocked the nation when they were eventually reported. Once apprehended, Najima readily divulged the details of the murder, but was less willing to explain his motive. When asked, he would only break down in tears, saying, "I don't know what came over me, I know it was wrong." In the end, the police could extract nothing more from him than expressions of remorse. Although the efficiency of his methods strongly suggested that he had committed similar crimes in the past, no corroborating evidence ever came to light. Najima was sentenced to life in prison at his first hearing. The sentence was imposed with no appeal from the defendant. Fun story. Okay. Cool. Oh. Hey, there he is! Self-employed. No, he didn't even have a curse echo. What a loser. The man who made headlines over 2 decades ago as the perpetrator of the brutal killings known as the Najima murders. Okay. Interesting that he's special enough to be here. Body with a body, yep. I suppose so. To be honest, it was all a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just parting around me. He looks like a worm. He kinda does. A thick worm. Something like that. They said the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but they only ever found pieces. See, in my mind, the way you're describing this river, the water's too thick and sludgy. Everything just floats. Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. A sorry story for everyone involved, huh? It's funny, everyone figures the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt, but every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go rooting around in there myself. That's right, which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or so that was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it in the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace. You know, you're saying a lot. Are you sure you weren't the killer? Because you're like, I guess that's what the killer would have thought. And I guess that would make easy targets for killers. I mean, not that I know, but if I were just hypothetically speaking a killer. You sound really suspicious, lady. You see, back then, I was a serial killer. If you chopped a body up into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot, quickly and discreetly, and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again. Are you saying what I think you're saying? They arrested him shortly after, Fumichika Najima, the man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. And people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. The police never found any evidence of other murders in the end, but the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? The same thought spread through everyone's mind, and they started to avoid this area. So really, this river has been rank with corruption for decades now. Yeah, would you love me if I was a worm? And then a picture of this guy. That's true, yeah, it does. I guess, yeah, then probably gas build up in the bodies and it would float. I'm not really sure, though. She's releasing an If I Did It book of Ranke River. Or at least that's how it seems to me. Someone who's totally not a serial killer. Well, was that interesting? Well, I can see why you don't have any good memories of this river. With all that darkness lurking beneath the surface, there's no reason that you would. Still, if I may, ma'am, I'm surprised you know so much about the Najima murders. It's not like your friend was the only confirmed victim. But how could I not? After all, I was the one who committed them. Who found the hand. I mean, goodness, no, I love Cyril. I would never, yeah. Exactly. Couldn't be her. For completely valid reasons, I'm sure. The police actually wrote me a thank you letter. Didn't she already say she found the hand? Wasn't that... I thought that was already said. They said it was only thanks to me that they managed to bring Najima to justice. That was the only time my father ever said he was proud of me. Oh yeah, also, she's from a police family. Like, why? There's no reason why she would not know about these murders. Buddy. What... Or did she say she saw it? I mean, I was assuming if she looked out in the river and saw it, that's the same thing as her finding it. And maybe she saw it somewhere else, but I don't know. I definitely got the impression that she saw it here. But, because didn't she say she was looking out or something at the river and it was just filled with, like, dead cats and then her friend's hand or something? Yeah, so I really thought she said that. That was definitely my impression anyway. Huh. Guess it just wasn't the killer's day. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for it. Do you really care? Are you guys friends or something? Okay. We're not done talking about the river yet? Oh my god, do you have another story? I have nothing but awful memories of it. Okay. Okay, now we're done about the river. Good. Let's talk about our surroundings. We're on Komagata Bridge over the Sumida River. There's a highway on one side and a freeway on the other. So, what's her definition of these two things? But they're both deserted this late at night. Okay. One of the bridges spanning the Sumida River completed in 1927 as part of the reconstruction effort following the Great Kanto earthquake. It is notable both for its distinctive blue arches and the cutting-edge, for the time, techniques used in its construction. There are many bridges stretching across the Sumida River, each boasting a unique structural form and design. Okay. Cool that they made them unique. Okay, we're done looking at our surroundings. On the pillar. Yeah. Is there anything else to click at? I like the sounds. It's nice. Let's look at him. He's gazing down at the water. That's okay, that's it. Let's think for a second. Oh, it's like the way top. I'll look in a second. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring it. Okay, yeah, right. Okay. Was it here? Oh, yeah. Yay, a mockingbird. It's a schoolgirl flamingo, huh? Okay. Oh, wow, that's a kind of late one. I was like, did we miss a bunch? There's no way we could have missed a whole bunch, right? No way. No way. We literally have clicked on everything possible. As far as I'm aware, I mean, I guess we could have missed some. I wasn't looking too closely, but we've only been to 2 locations, so. Okay, let's talk to him now. You go first? I'll go first. I think she'd go first. Oh, I need a drink. There's something I need to tell you. What's up? Well, that girl, Uchiyo Shiraishi. The one who was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping. That's her. Well, she's dead. She's what? The student who committed suicide last week. That was her. I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name, though. Talk about bad luck. We finally get a lead, only to find it's turned into a literal dead end. Unless her death was the whole reason Janucci was so shaken up. He said she was going to curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave? Seems like we're back where we started. Not necessarily. Oh, it seems like that was her. My bad. Not necessarily. The teacher knows something. I'm sure of it. At the very least, I'd put money on him having something to do with Miss Shiraichi's death. Yeah, are you stupid? You don't read the paper? He's like, oh, I got this name, and he didn't know. I don't know. That's why he's so scared of being cursed by her. I see. And also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping. Well, he does take on too many cases than he actually has time for. In any case, I think I've got a good idea what he's hiding. Call it a hunch. A hunch? Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess? What were we guessing about? I can guess. I can't say for certain, but... She silenced herself with a curse. I don't know. What if Michio Shiraishi silenced Michio Shiraishi with a curse? What do you think? You mean it was self-inflicted? I mean, it did say suicide, right? That might be a little bit far-fetched. I see. I'm sorry if I disappointed you. I'm not really cut out to play detective. Well, no point in dwelling on speculation. The truth will out in time. Right now, I think we need to have another chat with Mr. Janucci. Please go ahead. Alright then. See, the problem is, needs to straight home and go to bed. It's like when they do that, they're like, I have to pick the person I'm going to start talking about. And like, then I get stuck. I talked about her, and then I'm like, oh, she did one of these things. Okay. And it's weird because like, I don't know where I'm going with it when I pick the first words. So it's I probably should have picked the guy. Might have ended up better. But I don't even know what the options, if I would have even had the same options or not. I don't even know. Alright then. I've been poking around places connected to the 7 mysteries, looking for curse bearers, and I think I found a few candidates. First, a tall man I ran into in Kinshibori Park. I asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the questions right back around me. Don't probe people, Richter, it's weird. And he was out there the second he figured I wasn't what he was looking for. I got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer. I thought he wasn't. Then there's this middle-aged guy I saw on South Warigasui Street. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand. He had a nervous air about him, too. It was clear he was up to some shady business. Gathering soul dregs, I'd bet. He'd make a good target. Next up is a pair. A young man and woman I saw around Ryogoku Bridge. This time, the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and he backpedaled and left. Looks like they lurk around there often. Looking for kindred spirits would be my guess. Though it didn't seem like they were quite working as a pair. Gathering soul dregs in a group might be a decent idea if you could make it work. But with things being how they are, it's got to be hard to find folks one can trust. They've got brass though. I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. Was the one guy the shadow curse we killed? I don't know. Not one since he died. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, we knew that the guy wasn't, but yeah, the other guy who was holding it, he might have been the other one. Yeah, he might have been the shadow guy. Last is 2 detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are involved? Not necessarily. A body turned up in a local park a few days ago, so they might just be looking into that. You know, they might be doing actual police work, but still, the park's got ties to one of the 7 mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in, and if they're sending in detectives from the head office, then something's got to be up. How do you know where they're from? Let's just say that when you're in this business, there's some faces you get to know. Yeah, he could still be out there, I don't know. Unclear. We do have a couple loose ends still. Yeah, police doing actual police work. Bit of a mystery. Anyway, that's everyone who's caught my eye. You found all of them in so little time? I really did hire the best. It's all in the name, ma'am. Richter Kai, P.I. No, wait. Make that Richter Kai, investigator extraordinaire. Ooh, look at this hand. This is the anime hand. This is that hand that is under the pointing hand when Sailor Moon does her little pose. This one. Okay, that's how you know he's a magical girl at heart. My, an investigator extraordinaire. Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself? You bet. An investigator extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit. It's a JoJo hand. In the name of the moon, I will investigate you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, he's very flashy. Well, that aside, the middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising. Am I right? Whichever you pick, it's still too early to make a move. I don't know. I think the guy who was literally holding a curse stone is probably the most promising. To be honest. The others, I mean, like, you don't know for sure, but the one guy literally was holding one. So, I don't know. Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move. Seems like the curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there's still others we don't know about. I say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll get the pot nice and hot. And once it's boiling, our chance will come. Okay. Is something wrong? Not really. It just struck me. It's been 20 years since the Najima murders. We're back to this. So it has. Not to spook you or anything, but I thought you might be interested in knowing. Hmm? Maybe he was just holding a neat rock? Could be. But he probably would know. I don't know. Like, it is hard to kind of tell if their curse stones are just cool rocks. Life in prison doesn't always mean life. There's precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after 20 years. Only if they're found to show remorse and the desire to reform themselves, of course. That's right. I'm impressed you know so much. Still, it's hard for someone with a criminal record to reintegrate into society. The fact that people can get out on parole, the private investigator knows that and she's shocked. That's the thing, is like, when he doesn't know something, they're all like, oh, that makes sense. But when he does know something, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised you know literally anything to do with your work. He's an investigator extraordinaire, what don't you understand? I hear they've been trying to fix that recently, matching inmates with jobs and occupation. Or accommodation, that's good. Oh, really? They keep an eye on them, of course, and make them report in for regular checkups. But to avoid discrimination, they keep the inmates' records a secret from everyone but their employers. They even give particularly notorious criminals new identities so they won't be recognized in the workplace. My, the way you put it, it's like you're saying Fumichika Najima could be out on parole right now. That was like the one time, and we do have the out in his file that says he has taken on too many cases. So like I'll give him a pass on that. But for some reason we're surprised about literally everything else that he actually is competent about. Back in society under a new name with nobody any the wiser. It's possible. As it happens, a little birdie told me about a big name making parole a few months back. I don't know if that was Najima, but our discussion just now did bring it to mind. I see. How unsettling. Now that you mention it, I just remembered something too. What is it? I committed the murder. I'm just ready for her to go crazy. I was passing Komagata High School a little while ago when I saw someone. It was Najima. A janitor, I think. And I could have sworn he reminded me of Fumachika Najima. He doesn't look like him at all. Oh? He looked a little different after 20 years. Much thinner than I remembered, too. I told myself I was just seeing things. But perhaps... Yeah, he's literally half the man. Perhaps it was him after all. He does kind of look like the guy that was holding a curse stone, though. I mean, from vague silhouettes and facing back facing silhouettes, but so what next? The big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Luckily, the Sumida River is a good distance from any of the 7 mysteries. It's unlikely the other curse bearers will come all the way here. I can finally have a moment to think. Yeah, if he came out of prison and was still the size he was when he went in, that honestly would be pretty impressive. Just tells you he probably stole everyone else's food. I see. All right. Suspend? Oh, right. This is when I can leave. And then... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Resume to try again. Okay. Wait, so I can't go any further. But I can go back and redo it. Oh, it may kind of like I redid this one, I'm assuming. Okay. Okay, we'll just... Yeah, possibly so we don't spoil the other stories, I suppose. Like, we probably need more information as, like, the meta viewer who the TV guy talks to. And then, like, we'll gain information from these stories, and then we'll, go back to this one probably and use the information to the others. Yeah. Yeah, that too. But I think we also might, yeah, need information from these in this. At least according to kind of, like, the way the game is laid out. I feel like they're setting up that kind of gameplay. We gotta save a special day for a non-stop viewing of this guy. Yeah, he's something, that's for sure. Alright, well, that is it for our stream today then. Hold on, we'll save. Just to make sure. Okay. Alright. And then we'll return to title. Yes. Alright. So good stream. Good stream. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for chatting. This music is so cool and epic. I love it. I love this type of stuff, music. I just want to, I should find the soundtrack and listen to this and then just like make cute little blender houses. And do cute little 3D designs with this music. It'd be great. Anyway, maybe that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Yeah, noir vibes? Yeah. Okay, so, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. Art stream when I can make things, when I can actually do things. Then at some point, probably maybe by the summer. We'll see. But yeah. Yeah, so again, VODs are on YouTube, going back for a couple months with almost all the videos, and otherwise, I will be back on Saturday. We'll probably play Paranormasight again. Hey, John Delp, I am just ending the stream. So you made it for the ending. But I'll be back on Saturday. We'll play more Paranormasight, I believe. Sunday, we will be playing Phasmophobia. It is bring your god to the asylum day, so that we're definitely doing that. So bring your god, be ready, pick a god, any god, show and tell of gods. Yeah, the ending soon screen goes here when I have it. Yeah, so I'll be back on Saturday. Have a good Friday, have a good Saturday, have a good night tonight. Don't get murdered by any curse bearers. And keep all your soul dregs inside. That's where they belong. Okay, so yeah, ending soon. Ending now. Goodbye, good night. Thanks for chatting.